Good Friday evening, August 15th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A Wenatchee man with previous convictions will serve time in drug treatment after being arrested with 5 firearms in his vehicle. A former Las Vegas fire commander is the new fire chief for the city of Moses Lake. Expect wet and cooler weather tonight and into Saturday morning before we see a big warm-up next week. I'll have your full local weather forecast straight ahead. The McNeil Canyon Road Realignment project in Douglas County is currently suspended due to a union strike in several eastern Washington cities. According to the Tri-City Herald, members of the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 302 went on strike Tuesday after rejecting contract negotiations with the Associated General Contractors. The McNeil Canyon Road project began in June. Workers participating in the strike are employees of the Seattle-based contractor Scarcella Brothers. Douglas County says it's too early to determine the length of the strike, but its transportation department will work with the contractor to evaluate schedules and manage dust control with water trucks. A representative for Local 302 District 5, which also represents Spokane and Moses Lake, declined to comment to NCWLIFE News. The city of Chalan will receive $3 million in state funding secured by 12th District Representative Mike Steele to begin its East Chelan Water Reservoir project. According to the city, Chelan's North Shore currently relies on a single booster pump station at Darnell's Resort. The 3 small reservoirs are only able to provide 11 hours of water during a small fire emergency and less when multiple hydrants are used during a large wildfire. The reservoirs are also the source of clean drinking water for over 40% of residents. Project plans include construction of a 1 million gallon water reservoir, new booster pump, pressure-reducing valve, and critical transmission lines to connect and stabilize the system. The $3 million will fund the design and planning phase in partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is expected to take 12 to 18 months. A Wenatchee man with previous convictions will serve time in drug treatment after being arrested with 5 firearms in his vehicle. The case goes back to August of 2023 when Douglas County Sheriff's deputies arrested 41-year-old Vincenzo DeChara in a traffic stop on South Kentucky Avenue for driving on a suspended license. Discovered in his pickup truck were 3 handguns, 2 millimeters and 1 .45 caliber, a 12-gauge shotgun, and 1 Romanian-made AK-47 rifle. DeChara pleaded guilty to 1 count of unlawful fire possession, with Douglas County prosecutors withdrawing 4 other counts. He has multiple prior convictions, including burglary, forgery, and escape. DeChara admitted to drug dependency, and Judge Brian Huber sentenced him Thursday to a drug offender sentencing alternative, allowing him to serve his sentence in residential treatment rather than in prison. The Catholic faithful in the Upper Wenatchee Valley have a new place of worship. Our Lady of the Assumption Church, located in Peshastin, unites 2 former parishes that serve Kashmir and Leavenworth. Those churches have now closed their doors for good. Construction of the $6.6 million Central Church started in the spring of 2024. It now has capacity for more than 400 congregants, but attendance at Thursday's dedication ceremony was standing room only. Bishop Joseph Tyson of the Yakima Diocese anointed the altar and ceremonially handed the keys of the church to Father Miguel Gonzalez, the lead pastor of the new parish.
On the north-south axis, as we walk into this church, we first see the Assumption Mary high over the altar and visible from Highway 97 when illuminated at night. On the east-west axis, we see Mary as the Ark of God in the nativity window, holding Jesus, and thus showing us the starting point of our Christian journey. window faces the resurrection window of Jesus Christ, showing us the end point of this Christian journey. Taken together, these windows remind us that salvation is not an escape plan, but a rescue plan. The very reason we build this church is not to escape from this world, but to allow this world to be redeemed and saved by Jesus Christ.
This building is more than stone and wood. It is a fruit of faith, sacrifice, and the love of a united community. Thank to everybody who made this a reality. As your pastor, I promise to give this house a place of prayer, welcome, and encounter with Christ.
When we come back, Chelan Health is applying for commercial building permits to construct a new administrative building and ambulance garage on its campus. And Brewster School District's Jessica Garcia has been named Federal Programs Director of the Year by the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Click It RV is the home of the lowest price guarantee on new and used RVs. Our summer sell-down sales event is happening now. Shop new and used RVs from all the major manufacturers. Up to $6,000 over NADA for your trade through August. 0 down and no payments for 6 months. And get a free Traeger grill with every purchase. Plus, it's your last chance to win a StarCraft trailer or $30,000 in cash drawn at the end of August.
Be a winner like me and get to Click It RV.
Don't miss Click It RV's summer sale-down sales event now through August.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Chelan Health is applying for commercial building permits to construct a new administrative building and ambulance garage on its campus. According to NCWLIFE media partner, the Wenatchee World, the project would add over 7,500 square feet to the hospital campus in a 2-story building. The proposal includes sleeping rooms for overnight emergency shift staff, a large training center, and the 7 vehicle bays for ambulance storage. Earlier this year, state lawmakers approved over $1 million in the capital budget for Chelan Health's Emergency Medical Services Building, and in 2023, the legislature allocated $11 million to the hospital for healthcare infrastructure. Construction is expected to begin later this summer or in early fall. A former Las Vegas fire commander is the new fire chief for the city of Moses Lake. Arthur J. Perillo III joins the Moses Lake Department after 25 years in fire services. The city announced his hiring on Thursday. Perillo replaces former Chief Brett Bastian, who retired in January. The union representing Moses Lake firefighters issued a welcome to Perillo on Facebook, saying his arrival marks an exciting new chapter for the department. The new chief begins his term of office on September 22nd. Brewster School District's Jessica Garcia has been named Federal Programs Director of the Year by the Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction. Garcia's career in education began in 2005 after she took college courses in Mexico, where she became fluent in Spanish. She began work at the elementary school as a secretary while she finished her second college degree and worked her way to becoming the district's Federal Programs Director. She was selected for the award by the Washington State Title I Part C Migrant Education Program Committee. Garcia was honored for her dedication and support to the education and success of migratory children. Coming up next, the Wenatchee School District is gearing up for the start of the school year and bracing for immediate budget challenges. We'll have more in tonight's feature story. Rain showers are expected tonight and tomorrow morning, then a warm-up next week. I'll have all your local weather details coming up, as well as Eric Granstrom with tonight's sports report as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues.
Welcome to the summer of good. Good people, good taste, good vibes, and good, well, everything. When you're ready for some old-fashioned good, Abby's is your place. We've been celebrating summers around the P&W for over 60 years. At Abby's, good is a legendary tradition. Some people say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Well, those people have obviously never tried Abby's Big Hawaiian, featuring loads of Canadian bacon and Dole pineapple. Right now at Abby's.com, order this juicy, cheesy, and legendary pizza at a mouth-watering price. Celebrate the summer of good with an Abby's Big Hawaiian.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
The Wenatchee School District is gearing up for the start of the school year. Last month, the district was bracing for immediate budget challenges as the U.S. Department of Education withheld billions in federal funding for migrant education, multilingual education, and before and after school programs, as well as teacher training. About $2.9 million that was originally withheld from Wenatchee schools was released by July 31st, but there's still uncertainty about the exact amounts the district will receive. In tonight's feature story, Superintendent Corey Callahar spoke with NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz about the status of that federal funding.
It's hard to believe, but the 27th of August, a Wednesday, it's back to school for the Wenatchee School District, the largest of the school districts in north central Washington. Eastmont also starts on the 27th. Most of them do. The man to my immediate left doesn't get any time off in the summertime. Usually July is kind of quiet. Not the case this last July with Corey Callahar, the superintendent of the Wenatchee School District. You usually get a little downtime, Corey, in July, a couple of weeks off, family time.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case this year.
No, this year was very different, and it was strange for us to address budget challenges in July. That's usually not the timeline that we like to work on, but it was absolutely necessary based on what we were hearing and what was being signaled from the feds. Yeah, very necessary.
The feds, about 12%, I'm rounding off here, of the school district's budget, but this is specified money for specific programs and services provided by the federal government. You didn't know if you're going to get any money at all until the end of last month.
July 25th.
Where are we with that?
Yeah.
They've released the money, but you haven't gotten it yet? Something along those lines?
Correct. Yeah. So it's you're very correct on. We are reliant on our federal dollars from the nation, and it's for specific programs, migrant funding, multilingual funding, some of our before and after school programs, and a lot of our professional development for our teachers are all in that pocket. And what we had heard from the nation is, don't count on this money for 26-27. And we're like, okay, that gives us time to be thoughtful. We can prepare. We can do the reductions in a timely fashion. And then the funding, which has already been approved by Congress, was not released on July 1st like it usually is. And so July 7th, the superintendent of the state of Washington said, don't count on getting the money for 25-26 school year. That scared us. That's $2.7 million that we are counting on to run our programming this year. And so we spent from July 7th to July 25th figuring out how to reduce $2.7 million. But the funds were released on the 25th of July, which is, thank goodness, we love that. We can continue our programming for this year. But you're right, we don't know exactly what the apportionment we're going to receive, if it's what we were promised in the spring, or if it's going to be a different percentage of that.
Is it like a great deal of your budget based on enrollment, or is there other varying factors on how much you're actually going to get?
This part is not necessarily based on enrollment. It is targeted to specific students and it's tracked for specific students, but our numbers don't change a lot in our migrant program and our multilingual programs, and so we're pretty solid there. We'll just have to see what is actually ultimately released.
Any idea why they didn't send you the check on the first day of July and the money wasn't released until the end of the month? What's that all about?
We heard kind of what everyone else heard, and that the funding was being checked for accuracy and different purposes and how it was being used. But to have every state in the entire nation not receive those dollars, I don't know how in 25 days you actually do an assessment on those funds and how they're used. So I'm not sure exactly what happened behind the scenes.
But going forward for the 2026-2027 school year, you're going under the assumption that money is not going to happen at all.
Absolutely.
And yet you still have a mandate to educate.
A mandate to educate and do all of the things that these programs do fund, specifically for our migrant population and our multilingual population too. So yeah, it becomes an unfunded mandate.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you ended this work week on a high note. Kind of a mixed bag weather-wise today. We started off with some overnight showers. Began about 1:30 this morning, lasted till about 3:30 a.m. and then just a lot of clouds today. But as we go up to Lake Wenatchee, it's been a rainy one up that way. And this is the second wave of rain that we expect to move in tonight. And once again in the overnight and Saturday morning, good deal of rain up at Lake Wenatchee. And as I mentioned, that's in our forecast as we make our way through tonight. We do expect rain to redevelop, and we will see those off and on showers in our overnight. 1/10 to maybe 1/4 of an inch here in the Wenatchee area. Pretty much the same up in Omak, Moses Lake. About 1/10 of an inch there expected as well. We'll take whatever we can get at this point. And most areas, as I mentioned, will see less than 1/4 of an inch of rain, but it's better than nothing. Today's high temperature, 10 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. Unofficially 77, 87 is our normal high right now. And our record just a couple of years ago, 104 degrees, and that record set in 2023. This morning we were at 63, right in line with our normal of 62 degrees. Our record low 49, and that was set in 1960. From that overnight rain at Pangbourne Airport, 4/100ths of an inch in the Wenatchee area. That now gets us to 2.72 inches for the year, which still we're way behind at 1.99 inches. Sunrise 5:58 and the sun sets tonight at 8:12. All right, getting you into the weekend and your Saturday temperatures warmer than today, no doubt about that. We're going to start with some rain showers, partly cloudy skies in the afternoon, and a lot of 83s on our map. Moses Lake, Ephrata into Quincy, Wenatchee up into Eniat and Chelan, a little warmer. Omak at about 84 degrees, but we're all going to be pretty consistently into those low 80s as we kick off our weekend tomorrow. Tonight we can expect cloudy skies, and it's all thanks to this area of low pressure that's bringing the clouds in. Here's the cold front as it moves through tonight, an 80% chance of rain. You'll probably hear it in the overnight hours as well, with low temperatures into the mid-60s. As we get you into the weekend for Saturday, we're going to start off with a 60% chance of rain with just partly cloudy skies. Most of the rain will be in the west side for the afternoon hours. High temperature tomorrow, very comfortable into those low 80s. And boy, by the time we get to Sunday, great way to end our weekend. Here's that ridge building back up over the Pacific Northwest. We're going to see a very mild day on Sunday with high temperatures slightly below normal into those mid 80s. And then things will begin to change as we get you into next week. Mostly sunny skies for Monday and warmer. Just some high clouds out there, mid to upper 80s for high temperatures Monday. And we're going to continue that upward climb in temperatures as we make our way into the middle of the week. Tuesday, sunny and warmer. Nothing but a big old area of high pressure out in the Pacific. We're talking highs Tuesday near 90 degrees. And then as we get into Wednesday, almost a carbon copy of Tuesday with sunshine out there. Almost all of central and eastern Washington will enjoy those sunny skies. Going to be nice and warm. warm with high temperatures right around 90 degrees, which will be slightly above normal for Wednesday. And then at the end of our forecast for Thursday, we're going to stay about the same. Look at all these clear skies in almost a third of the western United States on Thursday, and we will warm up Thursday afternoon into the low 90s. All right, taking a look at your 7-day forecast. 66 overnight tonight. Rain showers in our overnight, and that will continue into the early morning hours of Saturday. Partly cloudy by afternoon. 83 degrees your high tomorrow. A really nice way to end our weekend on Sunday with mostly sunny skies and mild temperatures. 84 your high. And then next week, we're just going to warm up. A mix of mostly sunny and sunny skies. 86 Monday and right around the 90 degree mark for Tuesday, Wednesday, and again for Thursday. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms. Well, it's raining over here in Seattle and expected to rain throughout the game tonight. That's why I'm here to produce the Seahawks Radio Network. Talk more about that coming up. First of all, the Mariners are in New York to take on the Mets and hope to break a 2-game losing streak. They tried it for a comeback after a long rain delay yesterday. Julio Rodriguez with a 2-run home run, but not quite enough.
Sagano's having a pitch comm issue now. Julio Rodriguez is talking to Austin Jones.
Well, when the dirt starts getting wet.
Now here comes Mike Malinsky. He just called for the ground screw. That was a really weird situation. Now Drew French is coming out to talk to Sagano, but the game's going to be halted. I don't know. Well, let's see. Here comes the tarp. Wasn't sure if this was just a ground screw working on the field, try to get through a quick storm, but they are going to tarp the field here, the ground screw, after we just stood around and had some lovely conversations for 4 or 5 minutes.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is blasted right field. It is deep. It is gone. Julio, a 2-run home run right after the rain delay. And the Mariners, just like that, with one swing, down just 3. That's a way to restart for Julio.
Now we're glad that they paused the game and didn't let him hit in the driving rain. That was a blast to right center field as Julio gets the Triton there in the dugout. But against this O's bullpen, you're feeling good, and now they're feeling obviously even better.
So after the 5-3 final, the Mariners move on to New York. They'll actually be in Williamsport to play a game this weekend as well. It's kind of fun, so you can watch for that on the Major League Baseball Network. Meanwhile, the Mariners were the only team in action yesterday at as far as the American League West is concerned, as they fall a game and a half behind the Houston Astros. Houston, by the way, taking on Baltimore in the first of a weekend series. So Mariners are hoping Baltimore will stay hot and continue to beat a team from the American League West. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are preparing for their second preseason game tonight here at Lumen Field against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, the gang are here and expected to play tonight. In fact, Sam Darnold, Cooper Kupp, and the Seahawks #1s also expected to play tonight. Had a chance at a production meeting yesterday to talk with Coach Clint Kubiak about his offense. He said, of course, they want to be run first, and maybe a night like this with rain falling will be a good test for that Seahawks offense. Meanwhile, for the defensive side of the ball, it's about trying to get playing time for all these playmakers. Adnan Durde joined us yesterday in that pre-production meeting to talk about the defense and talk about what he hopes to achieve as far as making milestones. He said his favorite play from last weekend was the 2 penalties against the defense following interceptions where everybody came into the end zone to celebrate. He says, we're not going to do that anymore, but he liked to see the spirit and the guys supporting each other. Seahawks and Chiefs tonight, 7 o'clock. It'll be on King 5 TV, or if you want to listen to the Seahawks Radio Network, I'll be behind the scenes with Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman and Jen Mueller, and a special guest in the booth today, comedian Adam Ray. Should be kind of interesting broadcast. Well, for the second time in franchise history, the Bellingham Bells are the West Coast League champions. Ed Nags, the former Apple Sox skipper, took them to the championship last night. In Portland, it was a back-and-forth ball game. Bellingham getting on the board first in the top of the fourth inning.
Two-one golf to left. Will it stay fair? It will, into the Pickles bullpen, and we've got our... Yeah, okay, sorry, Gary. I thought you threw up the foul side. My bad. That was gone. Nate Kirkpatrick, 321 feet out to left field. 2-2 on its way. Bouncer to second, or short. Second to one, relay to first. Not in time. Run comes in to score on the fielder's choice. Aiden Aguayo in. Look back. The one. Hit up the middle, into center for a base hit. Round in the bag at third. Bryson Glasgow. The throw comes back in. Raise those chairs! Stroop has worked the count full. Here's 3-2 runner goes. Swung on and missed. Grafton Stroop strikes out swinging on a 91-mile-an-hour pitch at the top of the zone, and your Bellingham Bells are the 2025 West Coast League champions.
So they hold on for the win. 2-1 the final as Bellingham claims their first championship of the West Coast League since 2014. Well, fans are going to have a lot to cheer about this weekend at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval with the monster trucks in town. Jeremy Anders joined Dan Kuntz on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley to talk about the monster trucks' return after such a big layoff.
Some things lined up perfectly this year to bring back monster trucks for the first time to the track in 7 years, and we're excited about it. We got a full slate of monster trucks this weekend, so we're just trying to just pack as much stuff as we can into one season and make it a big one and hopefully carry momentum to next year.
Do the monster trucks do a circuit? So you have to be able to get them when they have a weekend that's available and they're somewhere in our area?
And a lot of these tracks and fairgrounds and facilities have had the monster trucks every year in the same weekend for so long. So when he called us and said there was a weekend available, it kind of just worked out. And it was like, there's 2 weekends I have open between April 1st and this. And it's like, okay, well, we looked at our schedule and said, okay, well, let's do this one here. And it's going to work out great. They travel all over the West Coast, the group that we have here. So we're excited to have them here.
Fans will see the monster trucks at Leonard Evans and also other locations. And if you head to the track tonight or tomorrow for the racing, you have a chance to ride in one.
We have them at Martin's Marketplace out in Cashmere, BJ's on Sunset Highway, and then we have them on the corner of Grant Road and Highway 28 that is over there across from Fred Meyer. So they're all over the valley. Not just a few of them. We have more that are coming in. That'll come in Friday. They did a show this last weekend, so they sometimes have to take a truck home and do maintenance on it and change things around like that. So they got a full slate of monster trucks to jump. They're also bringing 2 monster trucks, and you get a ride in a monster truck. So they have 2 ride trucks that you actually get to take rides around the track in. So we have a fan fest each day at 5 to 6 o'clock. You can go down the track, ride in a monster truck. I think it's $10 a person, and they'll have it after the show as well. So not very often you say you get to ride in a monster truck, and it's a full-size monster truck, big motor. I don't know if you don't get to go off like full speed jumps, but they still get a little fun.
Gates open at 4:30. The racing gets underway at 6, both tonight and tomorrow night at WVSO. Go to WVSO.com for tickets and more information. We've got the junior Seagals, or the Seahawks cheerleaders, that are practicing behind me as they get ready for the game tonight. As Kansas City comes calling, 7 o'clock game time on King 5. I'll have a complete report coming up Monday on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Here at Lumen Field, I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Have a great weekend.
And that will do it for this edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app. And now you can watch all of NCWLIFE's 24/7 programming without cable. Our channel is available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the NCWLIFE app to your devices and share the news with your friends friends and family. You can email us with news tips anytime at news@ncwlife.com, or you could give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great weekend.